The new Corolla Cross. Fill it with friendship and family. The new Corolla Cross. Filled with life.
Hello and welcome to iDiskiTV. My name is Nkulule Kungeo. I'm with Kgaugelo Sebata and Masilo Machaka, Kaizer Chiefs' number 10 fan. Champion himself. He's been replaced by the younger generation of fans. He was at the FNB Stadium yesterday when Kaizer Chiefs defeated ETS Galaxy. We didn't cover that game. Apologies to everyone who was expecting us to cover that game. We had a very long night last night. In fact, we slept at around 1 a.m. And we're back here. It's the morning of Monday as we shoot this particular video. In this video, we'll talk about Kaizer Chiefs beating TS Galaxy and the possibility of number 2 with our friend Machaka. Later on in the video, we'll also talk about the drama about fans going to the World Cup. Machaka goes to AFCON to watch Bafana Bafana. He goes to many tournaments. Is the Minister of Sport, or the Ministry of Sport rather, the department, are they supposed to pay for fans to go to stadiums? We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. Sharks, thank you very much for joining us. How are you, sir? Feels like a long time you've deserted us. I've had to step in and shoot videos on your behalf.
No. I'll never do that.
Sure.
This is home away from home.
Nice one. Nice to see
I
you.
feel comfortable when I'm here. It's good to be here once again.
Yeah.
In a cold weather. I know Gauteng is cold, it's raining.
Yeah, it is raining.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like it because of the result from last night. but it's raining. Yeah, so
We should send you more to FNB Stadium because drama happened at FNB when you were there.
Yeah.
Since you've been working with us and you've been doing cricket work as well, you haven't been to Kaizer Chiefs home matches a lot. When you were there yesterday, they scored 2 goals. The match was disrupted by lightning and rain, and the lights were not working. So it becomes dramatic when you're there at the stadium. Tell me about the match itself. How was it? How was it from the fans as well?
No, great stuff. Great game of football in Guluksi. You know, I always love to be at the stadium, Guluksi. That's where I belong. Yes, I'm here, but I love to be as well. Not to say I don't love to be here. But it's also good, my brother. You know, I met people that I haven't seen for a while, especially different supporters.
On TV, I don't know if you're aware of this, I saw your friend, Mukwebo, with the blue hat.
Yes, he was there.
Yeah, on TV. So I was thinking, you guys maybe you spoke to each other.
No. He didn't even know that I was there. I don't think many people knew that I was there. No, but I think I arrived 5 minutes after the kickoff. So, but that's on Group CS. It was a great game. With the TS Galaxy always giving us hard time. You know, TS Galaxy is not an easy game. Yeah, it's not an easy team to beat. But we managed to get 3 points from Galaxy, you know. Yeah, but congratulations to Kaizer Chiefs and also the technical team. I think there's something that they are doing well in Guluksi because 4 in a row is not child's play. You know, we are gunning that. Is it second spot? I can't say second spot.
Well, Bobo has been saying mathematically you are in the running for the league itself. Okay, and then a few weeks go by, and then some Kaizer Chiefs fans, they adjust. Some of them were having placards that say, forget about number 1, well done to Sundowns, we've won the league, but we're coming for second place.
Absolutely, Nkulusi. Yeah, Bobo can say that, my brother, because he's supporting Sundowns, and it's comfortable to say that. He knows. I mean, why not?
So you're ruling yourself out, because we need confidence, we need motivation.
No, we don't need motivation from them. We don't need motivation from Sundowns supporters. We are good at where we are in Guluks. We take each game as it comes. No pressure from the Prevent Glamour boys. That's what I'm saying. You know, they keep on winning now. We are looking at the 3rd position.
Not even second. Is it not an ambition? Because you have 2 games in hand on the Pirates. I know my job is to ask the questions.
Yeah, true.
If you were asked me, I would say 3rd is a realistic one.
Absolutely, yes.
But for you, are you not even aiming at second?
You know, it doesn't look I don't want to put pressure on the team. But what I could say is the way we are playing, the way we are winning Guluksi, we're looking at the 3rd position, not the second spot or the 1st spot. You know, we must just leave it to Pirates and Sundowns at the moment. Let's just keep on playing how we are playing right now. And everybody could even see even yesterday, you know, what I normally don't want to see is a team that plays well in the first 10 minutes. After that, they go down. Or the team that doesn't play well and they allow the opponent to score 1 goal, they trail by 1 goal to 0 or so, then they want to catch up. we need consistency from the first whistle to the last whistle. That's what we need to see. We need to see a beautiful game of football. Yes, some will question how do they win? How do the Chiefs win? Because by how we win in Nguluksi, sometimes it's questionable to say, so to speak. But we keep on winning. But we need to make sure that we do well from the first.
It helps your confidence if you keep winning.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you in the part that it's not always consistent throughout the 90 minutes at the performance. But definitely, if you were to be asked, would you choose to win? After watching that game, I would have said Chiefs deserve 100%. Deserve. I love what Mdu did in the first goal because I think Glody was unsure what to do. The ball, Mdu takes it. I don't know how he did it, but he accelerates over the defender and he pinpoints, chips it to the head of Flavio Silva. I loved that. I loved that. The second goal, I don't understand what Iratape was doing. The goalkeeper, T.S. Kalatsi. I don't know what he was doing. But of course, Uglodi Lilepo, that's why I was always saying that he's a striker natural because he's big, he's very pacey, and he can shoot at goal as well.
Absolutely.
And I liked that he was able to finish. But it was made easier, of course, by the goalkeeper as well.
Absolutely. But also credit to our defense in Nguluksi. The back three, I think we played with three at the back, if I'm not mistaken, because Munyane will always
it was a three that became a three that became four because Munyane was
Munyane
playing as a wing back, and then there was Bradley Cross, there was Aidan McCarthy, I can't remember who was given him Msimangwe as well at centre back, so it was not bad, Chucks. I know that every time Chiefs wins or loses, it's either the coaches must be fired or they must be given a new contract. I kind of saw that there's this sense now that these coaches might not leave, even though the agreement was that they're pushing us until the end of the season.
Absolutely.
Do you still feel that way, that you get a proper head coach, experienced head coach at the end? You don't get tempted to say, bring these ones along?
No, the statement stays the same. What the management said, they are giving them until end of the season. Let it be. Yes, they are doing well right now at the moment, and we appreciate the work that they are putting, especially training. But what I can say to Nguluksi, next season we should see new faces, especially on the bench. So yes,
even if they can put together, it's 4 wins in a row. I know it's going to be difficult because you have Sundowns and Pirates. But if they miraculously put together 10 wins in a row, for example, you would still feel the same way.
It doesn't change. It doesn't change where we stand in Nguluksi. That's what I'm saying. Credit to them at the moment. But I think also themselves, they are thinking about the future. They think about the next season. Where will they be? Are they going to follow Nabi or not? Well, I don't know. But what I can tell you, Nguluksi, we need new faces on the bench, and we need the coach. I think maybe the management might know who will be coaching Kaizer Chiefs at the moment. And maybe they pinpointed that person at the moment, and that person is still taking some notes and where he will want to see Kaizer Chiefs going forward.
You suspect, I know there are no facts out there for now, of course, but do you suspect we're going international or you guys are going local? What do you suspect?
It's tough, but I think they'll go international. Local, I don't see Kaizer Chiefs going local. I don't see them. With the pressure that comes with the team, I don't see anyone here locally except, let me say, Pizzo, but it's not. I don't think it's available. But if it's available, yes.
If there could be an agreement, that would be the match made in heaven.
No, bring him. If he's available, I've spoken about Pizzo before, that is the kind of a person that would like to see coaching Kaizer Chiefs. Even himself, he would like to coach Kaizer Chiefs, no doubt about it. But will they be able to afford Pizzo Msimane with this technical, with the people that will be coming with? Will be
and the budget to buy players.
Budget to buy the players, because we still need to reinforce our squad. It's not like now they are winning, but we are okay. That's what I'm saying. How you win games, you can even see how win games. It's not convincing. So now we need to do what? We need to get coach. The coach must get players. Then we'll see what happens next season.
Yeah. Let's talk about the events from yesterday. I mean, the referee stops the game because it suddenly becomes dark. Maybe 10, 15 minutes later, the rain starts pouring down. Maybe there's a struggle as well with the lights being switched on. I'm speaking as someone who watched it on TV. What was happening inside the stadium, and maybe the panic from the fans? What did you observe in that whole moment?
No, I don't think there was a panic. It was all about, because the game started at 3. They couldn't switch the lights on at that time.
You can assume that it will be enough daylight.
Yes, absolutely. But you could even see, but those lights, they take time. Once you start to switch them off, to switch on, then they take time to come out. So it was not a panic from the supporters. We knew that, you know what, the game will be delayed, but the game will resume in some specific time. But yeah, look, that's what I'm saying. It was a great game of football. It was at that time we were leading by 1-0. We didn't want to see the game being cancelled. Maybe, you know.
Yeah, because there are instances. I was saying to Bobo when I was chatting to him, Uti, there are instances where even if you're leading by 2-0, if it's stopped by an act of God, which is, it's not a referee who made a mistake or crowds. If it's stopped by an act of God, the rules suggest that you might have to restart it from 0 minutes, from 0-0 on a different day. Absolutely. So there was that possibility as well.
Yeah.
Brendan Peterson comes back for Chiefs, and you could kind of see that there's the panic that is there when Bruce Vuma is there is not there. Which is to say that this is a goalkeeper who was knocking at Bafana or Brendan Peterson. Yeah. So I'm sure you guys are glad to have him back.
Absolutely. No, I was happy to see him as well between the poles. Yeah, I know Vuma. Yes, he's a Kaizer Chiefs player, but what does it give us? Especially when he's in between the poles. So that's what I'm saying. Even the defense, I think they trust Peterson than Vuma. So could even the save that he made as well last night, Nguluksi. But I don't think he's will put pressure on Hugo Bruce to say, here is Peterson, or maybe here is Mabuye, or maybe here is Ndlovu, or other players. Because these players, sometimes they play one game, the next game they don't play well. I mean, like Mtuzu Shabalala, he plays today a good game, like great, you know, even last night he had a good game, but come next game he doesn't perform. But you can't say Hugo Bruce must select all those players. But as I'm saying, Peterson, it gives us something, you know, that we can be proud of, to say, you know what, we've got the last man in defense. So yes.
Yeah, just before we move on to the World Cup discussion, Chucks. Yeah. If I get you correct, you're saying number 3 realistic coaches at the end of the season. Thank you very much.
Good looks. I told you. Let me just repeat myself again. We need new faces on the bench, especially the coach. They'll have to reinforce the squad. The Prevent Lama boys with the squad that we have, yes, but it's not enough. Especially if you also want to go and play for Confederation of African football, if it's possible, if it happens, yeah. So looks, yeah. I mean, that's what I can say, my brother. So we need the coach, Guluksi. Also, we need to reinforce the squad, and we'll see what happens. But even the position, you know, I told you about the Sundowns and Pirates. Let them take 1 and 2 position. Let it be on number 3. We're okay with Ngulu. As long as we saw how he performed better than last season, we're still doing well. And we are saying to the supporters, come back in large numbers to the stadium. Let's support the team going forward. Next season, I think Guluksi will be hard to beat Kaizer Chiefs.
All right, nice one. Thank you very much, Chucks and Chucks. We'll still continue, of course, with the discussion. I just wanted to remind you that you can like the video if you like it. And if you are here at this point of the video, please make sure you are subscribed. Comment as well. Do you agree that Kaizer Chiefs should aim for number 3 instead of number 2? And number 1, do you also agree whether or not the coaches must stay or leave? I suppose with big clubs, you need always clarity. You need clarity that the direction that they're taking is about the best interest of the club. If they kept those interim coaches for the purpose of pushing until the end of the season, we have now reached the end of the season. It's almost May, and at the end, you then announce the coach. If not already, you've not selected, like Machaka was saying, that maybe already they have found their coach. Now, big teams need to big team in a big way. So, Kaizer Chiefs management, the floor is yours. By next season, you should not be waiting until the end of the World Cup to announce your coach. It should be something that's clear to you, unless, of course, you twist it and take these coaches because maybe they go on 7 matches unbeaten. Who knows? We'll switch gears then to speak about football fans in South Africa and the fact that should we ask the question, should the sports ministry or sports arts and culture ministry be responsible for buying or paying for tickets for football fans? We saw one case study of Umama Joy, who is one of our faces, of course. In South African football, she is one of the faces. Abu Machaka, Satam Make, those old school fans who are loyal to their football clubs. Every time there's an advertisement for a sponsor and they need fans, about 2010, Abu Machaka, they are called, including Abu Mama Joy, they are called. So it's no mystery why she would think that she has to go to the World Cup. She's gone to previous World Cups before. But who should foot that bill? Should these fans get the sponsors for themselves? Machaka has been to many African Cup of Nations with Bafana Bafana. First, and I've always asked you this and you've always told us, but remind us, how do you get yourself normally to the African Cup of Nations?
Thanks very much, man, for another opportunity. Yeah, I don't want to come into Bafana Guluks. Some of us, we don't expect anything from the government. Number one, we don't expect anything from SAFA because we've never received any assistance from them. They just see us at maybe AFCON. I also remember I went to...
In 2019, you and Botha for the African Cup of Nations in Egypt were supposed to be hiking to get to the African Cup of Nations. You were at the 2018 World Cup in Russia,
Absolutely.
and then we saw you at the 2019 African Cup of Nations as well. Yes. And people can put two and two together and think that SAFA has helped you. How did you guys get yourselves? I'm sure Botha has a different story to yours, getting yourselves to the 2019 African Cup of Nations after going to 2018 Russia World Cup.
Absolutely, Nguluks. Yeah, in 2019, as you're saying, rightfully say, I found Botha there in Egypt. Because, he was hiking. But he was helped by other people as well. I think he reached Kenya, if I'm not mistaken. From there, couldn't go further because of the Sudan. This was a war and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he hiked from South Africa up to a certain country, and then he's like, okay, it's difficult now. I can't continue.
Yes.
And then there was a flight from there to Egypt.
To Egypt. Yes. Yeah. That's why after that I found him there in Egypt. So with me, I always get help from the private people. They sponsor some of us to say, guys, those sponsors are people that love football. They love the game of football. They say, guys, we've been rallying behind the nation. We'd like to see you guys, there in Egypt or maybe there in Ivory Coast. But it's difficult. It's not easy to be there, my brother. Even if, you have muscles in your pocket as a fan. But it's tough for the Angolus. Talk about accommodation, you talk about
tickets and flights.
Talk about tickets and the stuff. You can't manage. Remember in Ivory Coast, we stayed there for 3 weeks. No, I think it was the whole tournament. It's like in Morocco, we stayed the whole tournament. Then how are you going to afford? That's the question. But I can tell you, even the ministry, they've never assisted us with anything. People, they keep on saying, no, these are the super fans that that get help from government or from SAFA. None whatsoever.
Yeah, because the perception is that you guys get help.
None whatsoever. Remember the government, and they have, in schools to assist. They have to, buy equipment. They have to assist.
They have a country to build.
Yes, absolutely. If it was netball, about hockey, and it's not only football that they should look into. There's a lot of different sporting codes that they should, even the young kids that want to go and to present South Africa somewhere. Those are the things that they should look into. Not us, my brother. Us, yes.
I want to say just on that point. Okay. We Club World Cup. I'm remembering this because we were watching Sundowns at the Club World Cup, and I was watching the other games as well. Yeah. The African countries that were there at the Club World Cup, they were assisted a lot by their clubs. If you saw teams from North Africa, you could see all the red. Esperance was there. The red of Al Ahly was there. Sundowns, I think, maybe had 50 to 100 people there as well. So it's not a must, but for how it looks, because a stadium of 50,000 people is too big.
It's too big.
At the World Cup, there will be matches where Bafana are playing, and there's not more than 5 or 20 South African fans. It looks good. And even the orange of Senegal, if you notice at the AFCON, they even have coordinated dances, they play drums.
Wonderful.
That's a government initiative. I understand what you're saying, and I love the spirit of humility that a government must build a country. There's other sporting codes. But also there's a benefit to having people like yourselves being there.
Absolutely. No, as I've mentioned, Senegal. What a beautiful. I saw them in Morocco in the final versus Morocco there. I was just not far from them there. What, they look amazing. We need this kind of things. But the one question is, are we patriotic here in South Africa? Because if you look countries like Nigeria and even our neighbor Zimbabwe, they'll have more fans than South Africa. So what does it say? It says the Minister of Sports, Kitino McKenzie, has got the duty to do. How you approach different private sectors companies. But Fana, they've got a lot of sponsors. You know, even Standard Bank came as well. For
Yeah,
Castle.
but I'm pretty sure Standard Bank would love to have 50 people wearing Standard Bank / Bafana Bafana jerseys, just as a collaborative effort. Maybe pay for 50 people.
Because it's got an access, it's got powers to meet those people. This is how it should assist. Not taking the funds from the government. No, but private sectors, use them. You know, say them. This is how we should, take the supporters to go and rally behind Bafana Bafana. It's always painful in Nguluksi to see 10 people supporting Bafana Bafana. People are crying. You know, they use more X than the actual, things, especially practical. If you talk on X, Twitter, especially Twitter, then what are you saying to yourself, especially to South Africans? Bafana Bafana need our support. But the question is, how do we get to Morocco? How do we get to Mexico this time around?
Yeah, I think Tracks, the other thing that scares people, I know, and I agree with you that we are always on social media. We are the biggest fans on social media, as opposed to be on the ground supporting our teams.
Yeah.
What also shocks people is the price tag. This thing of 700,000 is very misleading, because if a private company like Standard Bank looks at 700,000 for one person, they'll be like, okay, for 100 people, that's 7 million. That's impossible.
Yes.
Gandhi, that's not a realistic amount. And you can even take people for the opening game in Mexico, then we come back.
Yeah.
Or you can take people for only 2 matches and then you come back. We don't have to stay there the whole tournament. I know you don't know the prices, but I just want to find out from you, do you believe Oguti one person can cost 700,000?
Yeah, well, I was surprised and I was even shocked to see that. 700 Kenguluks, yes, you know, how will that 700 be get to be used by the government for other different things? But only one individual, it was, it was shocking to me. So that's what I'm saying. Looks, it's all about how do we get supporters to all these different tournaments. But that's what I'm saying. We can't put pressure on the government. We can't put pressure on SAFA. Even SAFA, they need to pay the players on time. Just imagine they have to take some of us. How are they going to manage to pay into the players? So, to me, I'm happy with where we are and how we're able to go to different, tournaments. And even remember, not only the tournament, even the qualifiers. Remember, we went to Uganda. I went to Nigeria as well.
The game against Benin.
No, I went to Nigeria, and I think it was a qualifier. The time we threw with Nigeria in 1-1.
Sure.
So I went to Nigeria, not because of the government, not because of SAFA. No, because of the people that are supporting us, people that have stood the test of time to support some of us. I mean, we've got our Porta, our Mamelo, and
yes, Mamelo does a great job as well, Lady T,
yes,
in terms of attendance.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you ask yourself a question, who support them? It's the same people that are supporting some of us. They are taking the fans. I think we need more of such people so that we can see 50 or 100 supporters rallying behind Bafana. Just imagine 50 or 100 supporters rallying behind Bafana.
Wearing the same colors.
Thank you. Wearing the same colors. Not
Singing
wearing
the same songs.
Not wearing Chiefs or Sundowns or Pirates or maybe Obit. No. Wearing the national team. The most important thing is to fly the South African flag, especially away from home.
All right, nice one, Trucks. Thank you so much. That's Machaka. We were not able to really be here for the Chiefs game yesterday, but yeah, they did well. Played 2-0 against TS Galaxy. TS Galaxy in trouble because they are not collecting points, and the teams below them are doing them a huge favor by also not collecting points. If they were winning, then TS Galaxy would be looking at the bleak prospect of relegation. I suppose then maybe they need 2 more wins in the remaining matches to be a little bit on the safe side, but they keep losing by huge margins to Orlando Pirates, and then now against Kaizer Chiefs. For Chiefs, possibly second spot, who knows? We shall see. Maybe third being the realistic prospect. Thank you very much for watching us.
Thank you.
For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.